So let's talk PPP loan forgiveness. The SBA recently released that the forgiveness portal for the second PPP draw loans is opened. Although the SBA is ready for forgiveness, it doesn't mean that the lenders and banks are. Based on the complexity of the program and the various changes that have happened over the last 18 months to the program, lenders are scrambling to make sure they're ready for all of the forgiveness portion coming their way. It was recently released that as of August 4th, the SBA is launching a streamlined application portal that's going to allow borrowers with the PPP loan or Paycheck Protection Program loan that are less than $150,000 that were originally processed through participating lenders that they are going to be allowed to apply for forgiveness through the SBA directly. The SBA saw that over 6.5 million loans to these small businesses were under the $150,000 threshold, and they feel that it's worth the expedited process in order to get all of these loans forgiven, or should I say followed the program correctly in order to be turned into a grant. This is also going to free up the lenders that have a huge backlog of all of these loans, and they can concentrate on the larger loans that were issued. The catch with this new portal is that your lender will have to have opted into the program in order to take advantage of this streamlined process. Now, because this news release was just put out, I don't know how many of the banks were informed ahead of time that they're going to have to opt in. So even though the portal may open, don't be surprised if you get an email from your lending institution saying that they're just in the process of allowing the portal to be used through the SBA, so please still continue to apply through them. Like everything with this program, the SBA has made changes without letting a lot of the lenders know, and then the lenders have a lot of angry customers because they think that the banks are the ones that are making this process more cumbersome or not as quick as they would like. Because the banks are independently owned businesses, they all have to make their own decisions what makes sense for their business. So in order to make this process as smooth as possible, what you're going to have to do is to determine if your lender is participating in this direct program through the SBA. You can review a list of lenders that are participating on the SBA's website, and I'll link that website below, and you can see if they're going to participate in this direct forgiveness option. And this will also tell you whether you have to apply through the SBA or through your local bank. If your lender is participating in direct forgiveness, you can use the portal to apply after August 4th, 2021. Notice how they say after August 4th. I think they're still trying to get the program up and running the way it should. But anyway, for direct forgiveness borrowers, you have to use the SBA Forgiveness Portal. The questions about the forgiveness will be the same as on the Form 3508S. I go over that forgiveness form in this video here, so it's there if you want to check it out. If your lender is not participating, you must apply through them, and they should supply you with one of the forms, either the 3508, the 3508EZ, or the 3508S. If your lender has an electronic form that they're using, or a paper form similar to the equivalent of that form, that's what you're going to use. Your lender can provide more information on how to submit the application, whether it's an electronic portal that they have at the bank, or if you have to physically bring the package into the branch. With the 3508S, this form and the forgiveness process does not require that you provide any additional documentation to show the calculations that you use to determine your loan. And you also don't have to show the calculations for the forgiveness amount. But the SBA may request information and documents to review those calculations as part of the loan review or audit process. I just had a small business with a loan of around $15,000 get audited by the SBA through this process, and they went through all his records to make sure everything was legit, and luckily it was all good. But you want to make sure that your information is as accurate as possible when you're going through this process. So for payroll, you want to provide your lender's account statements that the money came out of your deposit account, or your third-party payroll provider, such as QuickBooks, or if you use another accounting software, or an accountant does your payroll. This is going to encompass all of the cash compensation that you pay to employees. You're going to have to provide your payroll tax filings report, or all of the forms that you report to the IRS on your 941s. This is so they verify that the payroll that you paid them, the taxes you're paying on that payroll are correct. You want to save any payment receipts, cancel checks, account statements, documenting the amount of the employer contributions to health insurance or retirement plans, because those can also be included in your forgiveness amount. You can also include business mortgage insurance payments. You can also include any business interest that you have paid on, let's say, your commercial building, and you just want to provide them with the amortization schedule that your lender gave you. For rents, you want a copy of the current lease agreement and receipts of any canceled checks verifying those eligible payments. Same thing with utilities, copies of invoices, canceled checks, or account statements. So if you're going to count any covered property damages that may have occurred due to riots or things like that, anything COVID COVID related, you want receipts, purchase orders, anything like that to verify those eligible payments. Or even things such as covered supplier costs, like copy of contracts for, let's say, installation of plexiglass, things like that. Make sure you have all of that documentation that equals your loan amount. The easiest way I've seen most businesses do it is because they extended the payroll period to 24 weeks, they were essentially able to use all of the loan proceeds for payroll, so they only had to supply the payroll and the statements. Personally, I think this is the easiest way because then there's no gray area that the SBA, that they can come back and audit those other things. For a more detailed list on all of the things that you can lump into that forgiveness portion, check out the SBA.gov website, which I'll link below. But once you apply and get your application in either to the SBA or to your lender, make sure you keep checking the status of your forgiveness and make sure that your lender's emails are not going to spam. If the SBA does decide to review your loan, or let's say audit your loan, the SBA or the lender are going to notify you for the review. They're also going to notify you once the review decision has been made, and if it's not favorable, you will have the right to appeal certain SBA loan review decisions. But if at the end of the day you have a leftover amount that you didn't get forgiven, your lender is going to be responsible for notifying you what that forgiveness amount was and how much the SBA paid the lender, and also what your first payment is going to be and when it'll be due on the portion that didn't get forgiven. If you need assistance for the direct forgiveness portion, you can contact the SBA. They have a dedicated forgiveness call center, and that number is 877-552-2692. The call center will be open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The call center can only assist with direct forgiveness applications, so if you went through a lender, you're going to have to go back through them, to your loan officer, whoever, to get clarification on how you need them to assist you. Again, there's other resources. There's a direct forgiveness knowledge base that you can check out on SBA.gov also. I hope you got a lot of value out of this, and I hope this speeds up the process for all of you that are waiting for your forgiveness portion. I wish you the best in your business, and until next time, have a great day.